Hey, today we're going to talk about how to grow an online audience and make money with it. This is part two in a series that was generously sponsored by Printify, which is a great platform that lets you create and sell custom products without spending any money up front. You design it once, they'll take care of all the printing and shipping for you. And today we're going to talk about how you can build an audience online to sell those products to. And we'll be diving more into how Printify fits into this here shortly. As we dive in here, I'm going to assume that you have already seen part one in this series, which was about how to choose a profitable niche for your Printify products. Now we're going to talk about how to get your products in front of people so you can start making sales. The first thing you need to do is figure out who you're talking to. You really need to hone in and decide on who you want to reach. Are you trying to reach parents, seniors, students, hobbyists? What does your audience share in common? What unites them? The clearer you are about your target audience, the easier it will be to create content they care about. So imagine that you're speaking to one specific person. Create an image of them in your mind. The better you get to know them, the better you'll be able to reach them and sell to them. For example, let's say you want to sell humorous merchandise for pet owners who identify as dog moms and dog dads. Those are terms I've seen all over the internet lately. Now, your audience persona might be Sarah, a busy mom who rescued a puppy, or James, a young single guy who treats his husky like his kid. These are people who take their pets very seriously and consider them part of the family. We're going to be running with that example throughout this video, but hopefully you'll be able to see how you can apply that to whatever niche you choose to embody. So once you know who you're talking to, you need to figure out what resonates with those people. Most people connect easiest with content that either solves a problem or makes them smile. Content that makes people laugh or speaks to their feelings will usually do really well. You can think relatable memes or heartfelt posts. One way to narrow down what works well is to look at similar pages or groups online. Analyze the posts and the videos that get the most shares or likes, and then talk to your favorite free AI tool about how to emulate that kind of content on your channel. You never want to just direct copy what other people are doing. That's plagiarism and it's wrong. But you can use AI and other tools to create something similar because you know that that content already vibes with your chosen audience. For example, a dog mom merch brand could post cute memes that say things like dog hair don't care with a link to buy a shirt that says the same thing in the comments. But then, of course, the question is, where do you post that content? Instead of trying to post everywhere online all at once, you really need to focus on where your audience spends the most time. Each social media platform and website caters to a distinct group of people. For example, younger audiences tend to use TikTok. Facebook tends to cater toward older audiences. Business leaders tend to be on LinkedIn. There are different platforms for different people. For example, if you're very visual, Instagram is a great place to go, and so is Pinterest. But if you're not wanting to make a lot of images in every single post that you create, you may prefer to use something more flexible like Facebook or X. It just depends on what you're trying to create and how comfortable you are with the technology required to do those things. Now, of course, whatever platform you choose to use, it's important to make sure that you have the link to your Printify store in the bio. If you are linking directly to your Printify store, you don't need to go through Etsy or anything like that, which can help cut down on some of those upfront fees since you do have to pay a seller fee to Etsy. For example, if you're creating the shop we've been discussing, one of the first things I would do is create a Facebook group titled something like Dog Mom Memes or I Love My Dogs, something that people might even tag in comments of other posts. Sometimes I've seen some really snarky, like Facebook group names just kind of get tagged in comments on random posts. That's a great way to share that. Something that people might search for, like Dog Mom Memes, is another great title. But you usually want to do something that's specific enough that it's going to speak to your target audience, but written in such a way that it sounds organic and natural and not really salesy. Now, in this group, you might have people share photos of their pets. You might share fun shirt designs or memes. One of the best ways to boost your reach is to share memes and then have a product link in the comments that links to a shirt or a mug or something that says the same thing that the meme does. But of course, if you are putting like meme slogans on products, you want to make sure that they are original and not copyrighted so that you're not infringing on anyone else's work. Now, along with that, you'll want to decide your brand voice and style. Your voice is the personality that you're going to show online, and it needs to be consistent so that your audience always knows what to expect. So if you're making snarky, fun, humorous slogans on your merch, you're going to want to use that same kind of attitude on your Facebook group or whatever platform you choose to promote your products on. You also want to choose a style that feels authentic to your audience. A lot of people will enjoy humor, relatability, and heartfelt moments, especially in niches where you're wanting them to buy things like t shirts that are a little bit more impulse buy based. Now, the hardest part of this obviously is being consistent with your content creation because you need to make a lot of content to build a group or a page. So don't post about everything all at once. It helps to narrow down to 2 to 3 topics and then stick with them to build consistency because you want your audience to keep coming back for the same sort of content. For the dog parents group, I would probably go with mostly memes and humor based content, maybe some tips on affordable pet care, and posts just celebrating people's pets. You can use the same slogans on your Printify merch as you do in your memes. Just remember to link your product in the comments instead of the post because that tends to get a little bit better reach. And of course, make sure you're not infringing on anyone else's content. You want to make sure it's original. And if you're not comfortable coming up with original content for your merch or your memes, ChatGPT, Gemini, there are all sorts of AI tools that can do that for you with relatively little effort and usually for free. So just keep that in mind. For example, carrying this through with the example we've been using, a dog dad brand might post a mix of funny dog memes, training tips, and photos of customers. You could even do like a rate my dog thing with a 1 to 10 scale. People enjoy those kinds of polls and things. Now, keeping it simple and consistent is important because you don't want to wear yourself out or get burned out. This is a slow growth business. It's not a way to get rich quick overnight. You can build your Printify store really, really fast. I've built some of them in under just a couple of hours, but you need to make sure that you're posting and building your audience consistently, or it's really not going to go anywhere. So, Canva is a great place to start if you're making social media posts or even graphics for your Printify merch. And of course, Printify lets you start creating your merch for free as well. You really don't need any expensive equipment. You can use a phone and some free apps to get started. It's actually remarkably easy. And we have some other tutorials that we've done with Printify to show you how you can create that content. Now, when you're first starting, posting 3 times a week is good. Posting once daily is better. Showing up consistently is better than posting once and disappearing. I run many different online brands. So I use a social media scheduler so that I can create a whole bunch of content at once and then have it post over time because that's how I prefer to spend my time. But that is a completely optional approach. If you're doing something like a Facebook group, they'll have built in scheduling tools that you can use. And there are many free tools that can help you post on social media as well. If you're not sure that you can commit to daily right out the gate, I would recommend starting with a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or a Tuesday, Thursday posting schedule, getting used to being consistent with that, and then expanding from there as time goes on. And if you're using a group, you can also rely on user generated content as that grows, which can really help make a big difference in the amount of time that you have to spend creating content. Now, if you are wondering how on earth you're going to come up with ideas for all of this content that you'll need to create, like I said, AI is a great resource. You can also look at relevant questions that people are already asking on Facebook. You can look at trending hashtags, your own day to day experiences. There are free tools like Google Trends or even free trials on services like Also Asked that can help you find ideas for your content creation. Ultimately, you don't have to invent anything from scratch. You can get inspired by what's already getting people talking, and you can put your own unique spin on it to make it your own. For example, if you notice a lot of people are asking about how to get their dogs to stop chewing on things, your shop might decide to make a funny shirt idea about a professional shoe destroyer with a puppy graphic on it. And then you might make a post about tips to get your dog to stop chewing or, funny joke type memes about it, and then post the link to that shirt in the comments to start generating some sales. Along the way, it's important to remember to talk with, not at your audience. You want to treat your audience like they're your friends. You should ask questions, respond to comments, or create polls and hear their opinions. Nobody wants to be sold to. Okay. We live in a world where everybody pretty much has an angle most of the time, and it's exhausting. People do not like following sales pages if you're pushing for a sale in every post. That's one of the reasons why pinning your Printify links in your comments section can help you get more reach, because if you put that link in the content of your post, it's going to look more like you're trying to make a hard sale than it being an afterthought after you provided them with something of value, even if that value was just entertainment. So, For example, a dog dad page could ask, "What's the weirdest thing your dog has ever eaten?" And then turn the answers into fun future posts or even shirt slogans or memes or what have you. So that's a great way to generate content ideas as well. Now, along the way, especially in your early days, you want to encourage sharing, but you want to share with the right people. Especially if you're starting on YouTube, one of the biggest mistakes that first time creators make is that they go tell all their friends about their thing, and then their friends go sign up for it or subscribe to it or join it. And it really confuses the algorithm because it can't figure out what all those people have in common. So you want to make sure as you're growing your page that you're asking people to tag people who are actually going to be interested in what you're offering, not just interested because of who you are. So you can invite others to join your group, but make sure that they're actually interested in the content that you're creating. That way you get those likes, shares, comments, and authentic engagement that's going to help signal the algorithm to share that to more people afterward. Posts that spark conversation are more likely to be shared. And if you can, it's also a good idea to try to build your own email list so that you can email out your Printify links directly, notify people of new merch, and so on, without having to be as dependent on, say, Facebook's algorithm or YouTube's algorithm or so on. So, a good social strategy to getting more like minded people on your group is to post things like tag a fellow dog mom who would totally wear this shirt, or tag a dog owner who could relate, right? That way you're telling them who to tag and not just to tag somebody random. Now, another step is to, like I said, stay consistent and build engagement. You're here for the long haul. It is possible to be very successful with this, but it does take time. You need to build trust. Trust leads people to supporting your work, and you can eventually build a big audience that is actually willing to buy from you, but it does take an investment of time. Now, I would like to thank Printify for making this video possible. You can get started with your store for free at the link that you see on screen. We'll also drop that link for you below for your convenience. It's a really great platform for being able to test multiple store ideas at pretty much no upfront cost. You just have to start sharing those links and then you can see what's resonating with people and grow from there. It's a great platform for testing and sharing new ideas. So go check that out. And I will be back tomorrow with more ways that you can save money and get free stuff. I'll see you there.